this is our small group presentation for our social interaction activity, watching a TV series, Squid Game, and reviewing it. I am Alexis, and I will be leading our presentation with our introduction. Firstly, I would like to initiate this discussion by defining what a small group communication is. Small group communication is defined as a group that is mainly composed of 3 or more people that share and contribute to reach a particular ambition or challenge by communicating efficiently and effectively to achieve it. Furthermore, it is encouraged that all members engage in finding a solution to the problems they share most in common by collecting valuable data, evaluating the problem, and partaking in finding the solutions. First off, we needed to decide upon our small group activity to help everyone become more familiar with one another and promote healthy dialogue between members. One thing that we had in common was watching TV shows, such as Shameless, Game of Thrones, and Rick and Morty, to name a few. As we felt the most confident picking something we shared in similarity, indulging in popular TV shows, we wanted to choose a series that was trending, so we settled on Squid Game. Squid Game is a fast-paced Korean series about the extent to which people would go for money. However, unlike other shows, this one is an intense thriller, similar to what you would see in a Saw/Hunger Games mashup series. After viewing the series, we continued our discussion via Zoom, which eventually led to a group chat. Through these mediums, our individual personalities could stand out and shine. We became more than a group of names on a sheet, but a multi-talented selection of people. In the following, we will discuss our struggles of initiating group communication at the beginning of our formation, and how we continue to create ways to overcome these challenges. Our report will be organized accordingly. After the introduction, Oscar will detail the methods of how exactly we chose our activity. Next, Abby will continue with our results/findings of how we performed as a group. Amanda will then share how we accomplished our goals and what our outlook for future meetings is like. Lastly, Yair will conclude with a recap of ideas and wrap up our final thoughts. I now hand this presentation off to Oscar.
When we first received this assignment, we wanted to do something we could all enjoy. The bad part about it was that our communication at first was really not the best. This situation had more to do with the fact that a lot of our schedules just weren't lining up. We were everywhere time-wise. On some days, people were free and some of us weren't. When we decided on our first project, which would have been the NFL game, it sounded like a good idea at first, but it didn't pan out that way. The thing is that on the NFL Sundays, you kind of depend on a Sunday. We just weren't able to meet up on that day. After not being able to meet up, we realized we had to make some changes. Although things didn't go as planned, we stayed strong as a group and kept searching for alternatives. So we had to make adjustments and find time where we could meet no matter what. We wanted to discuss our next step, and we emailed each other with our phone numbers attached. Through this, we were able to make up a group chat. This brought about a huge change, and we weren't running into problems with communication anymore. Now that everyone was getting back to each other within an hour, and so that way there was no confusions. When we had a Zoom call, we wanted to discuss what our next idea would be. We wanted to go with something along the lines where we weren't depending on just one day. Alexis had come up with the idea of watching a TV show together, and that was really great. We settled upon Squid Games, and it was a good bridge because it worked with all our schedules. This show brought us a lot closer than we thought, and all of us were shy to talk to each other in the beginning, but it really broke the ice.
So we were able to learn about what it means to work in a group and learn more about each other. We were also able to decide on watching the first episode of Squid Games, and were able to come together and discuss our thoughts and ideas. Everyone was super helpful and understanding, and I wasn't afraid to ask any questions. We demonstrated small group communications by collaborating and working together on this assignment.
I will now be reading our group member Amanda's portion. Through this assignment, we as a group accomplished a few different things. One of the things we accomplished together was choosing what we were going to do as a group. We had a few different ideas at first, but ultimately chose to watch Squid Game Season 1, Episode 1. Our overall feeling about this activity was that we were able to get to know each other a little better. We were all excited to watch this first episode, as some of us had never watched it before, and others had watched it and gave us a little synopsis of what the show was about. We all seemed to have been intrigued by the explanation of what the show was about, which led us to all agree on doing our assignment on this show. One of the challenges during this activity was getting us all together at the same time due to our various schedules. However, we were able to finally accomplish the meeting via Zoom and created a group text to be able to stay in contact with one another. For us all to be successful in this activity, we all had to commit to being flexible and accountable for meeting upon the agreed times and meeting deadlines. Although the activity was not a failure, we know for next time we will collaborate sooner to have more efficient time to discuss and complete our group assignments. What we learned during this activity was how difficult it can be to work as a group at first. After meeting and exchanging texts, it seemed more comfortable. Our activity demonstrated small group communication as we had to collaborate to make this successful. We evaluated problems that were raised and made solutions as to how we were going to proceed. We each shared our thoughts and showed active listening, while other group members talked or shared their thoughts. Changes we could possibly make to our communication would be to have set time and date set aside each week to touch bases with each other and stay connected as we had a group assignment we needed to collaborate on. Advice we would give other groups would be to stay open-minded, flexible, and stay in communication with everyone in your group. The way we felt about working with people that we did not know felt awkward at first, but once we all started talking, we seemed much more comfortable. The benefits of working in groups with people we don't know is that we can all bring something different to the table. One of the drawbacks is that it may take a little longer to be able to collaborate and be open with one another. Also, another drawback would be being able to reach a medium within our group. Small group number 2 seems to have come together and accomplished this drawback. We have been flexible in making sure everyone stays informed.
As you can see, what we talked about in this presentation was our experience in working together and how we communicated in our group. We also talked about how we watched the first episode of Squid Games and how we shared our reaction to it. We kept in touch through Zoom and message group chat. Another thing is that we are glad we get along well as a group and that we have a helpful member who is Alexis. Even though most of our group members weren't able to participate, we're glad that we were able to get our work done in time and finish this assignment.